Hello everyone, this is Pamperchew, and today I'm probably going to do a teardown of this device. I really would like to see it working, but I have the option to go buy another one. They have several of these there, and I think it would be more fun to take it apart and just to show everyone what it's made of. So I did manage to get these boards out. These little tabs were breaking off, and I found that if I take my screwdriver and lift up on both sides, I can get one to come out. So here's one of the acquisition boards. Over here you have your front end. All these transistors are probably for switching in and out different inputs on the device. And over here you have your SRAM. It's kind of like a buffer. 93422 chips. They have some ceramic chips. I noticed this one here isn't even level, and a few over here aren't level either, like that one. So the person who installed those chips must have had their own way of doing it and wasn't perfectly level. This is a really cool instrument here. So let me pry up each one of these boards. We'll pull out the boards and look at them. Oh wow, some beautiful chips there. So I'll probably hang these up on the wall, all in a row. I'll probably hang them up all up in a row. There's just some things you can't keep everything, and it'll sit on a shelf for several years. I think it's better I just take it apart. That way everyone can enjoy and appreciate the work that went into making one of these. That's just beautiful. That'll be amazing. Maybe I'll frame it, have all the acquisition boards in a row. That's just beautiful. That's that right there. Let's just see what happens when I get more of these out. And a lot of them are repetitive. Oops. Yeah, that's the problem I was having before with the others. There we go. Oh wow, you can see some of the rework someone did. Just amazing. I appreciate the work that people put into things so we can live like we do today with modern technology and everything. This was a device to help create the 286. So beautiful. Wow, look at those ceramic chips. Oh, here we go. I'll put that into my ROM, my reader, and see what's on there. That's dated 1982. It's kind of odd though that this one's dated. Oh, and this is 1980. I had another one I looked at that was 1975. So this is a pattern generator. Data acquisition. Another pattern generator. Data acquisition. So let's set these up all nice and pretty. Now just remember, I can go get another one of these, so it's not like I can't have one again. I don't think I will buy it, but if it's cheap enough. I think they're priced at $125. Maybe if I get it on half off, but there's a wall. Garbage truck to take away the diapers. Okay. So this one here, pull that off. This is probably for the CRT, I imagine. There's the serial interface. And a TMS 9914. I don't recognize that. It's probably for parallel though. Because I see those chips quite a lot. Here's the inside of the board. That's a cool looking board. Let's take this cover off and see what I find. Okay, so right now I'm going to unscrew this section here, which should reveal the CRT. I want to try to preserve this tape drive. That might be reusable. Unfortunately, the tape has degraded, and the rubber band in there has rotted. That's a rubber band. Or wait a second. Yeah, that's a rubber band right there. And it normally pulls the tape. This is a kind of a weird thing. I might take this apart and show everyone too. So, got the drill. Just gonna pull those all out right now. See what's inside here. Oh, do I have more screws? Oh, that's on there. Might be screws behind this panel. Okay, well that's not coming off yet. Let me pull these out. Power supplies. Come on. Gotta get some more tools. Should come off. Alright. Ooh, spiders. Okay, so there should be 3 screws. Oh yeah, there's 3 screws right there. Oh, it looks like this one's already loose. It's both of them. Okay, I'll take those out now. Alright. Here's the CRT. It is a model number 220DB22-TC01. It's a color display. Here's the yoke. and the board for all that. And there's the flyback right there. So there's a decent amount of hours on it. See if I can get shocked. So what we can do is short that the ground. So it should be, if there was any voltage on it, it would have been cleared. But you can just, like that. Okay, now I want to take off that section there. I'm going to start pulling it apart. And here's the fan, the main cooling fan. The tape drive. Oh, it's a tape drive hooked up in there. Looks like it's just a bunch of wire. It doesn't look like a normal plug. What board do we have here? Okay. That might be for the tape drive. Over here, it looks like some sort of shielded connector. Is that a connector? Oh, it is. It's a little coax connector. That's cool. Never seen one like that before. It's all gold plated. Very sharp. And that connected into those two terminals there. And they go to what looks like, I think it probably goes to these two right here. I'll take those out first and see what's behind there. Okay, so what I did is I removed all the screws on these panels. This little fan, it's made by Pamotor. Pamotor, I never heard of that brand before. Pamotor, did I get that right? Yeah, Pamotor. And so this board, this thing here was connected to that board there through this ribbon cable. I'll probably get that out. If I take this thing out. So that was the connection to that board there. Now this board here, or this panel here, so that's the DGAUZ button, and that goes up into the high voltage section of the CRT. It also connects to those two cables that I was talking about. Directly to those two connectors. So those are shielded coaxial cable to these little connectors. And then of course you have the ground, and that cable, wow, there's a lot of slack on that. That goes, not really sure. Okay. It goes in there somewhere. I can't really see it. And that is the voltage switch to select between 115 volt and 230 volt. It has some pretty thick cables on it. And that all goes into this section in here. Okay. Those look like voltage regulators. Wow, I've never seen that one done like that before. So these little regulators, sometimes they have fins on them to cool them down. But over here, there's no regulators at all. but they put the fins on anyway, so maybe it was an optional thing. But there could also have been the problem of these were just getting too hot. This thing was pulling 400 watts when I had it running. So these fins could have just been added for the reason that they were just getting too hot, and it was maybe failing after a couple hours, overheating. So I've never seen that done before, where they put the aluminum fins on with no regulator connected to them. They're just sitting there. Let's see, this board is socketed, so I should be able to pull it out. I'm going to pull some more screws out here. So on this board, there are two main filter capacitors, and I'm going to check their voltage. I'm going to pull this cable off. I'm pretty sure they're at 0 volts, but it's always a good idea to check it and make sure it's... Do these squeeze? Oh, they squeeze. Okay. So we're going to check the voltage there. I'm pretty sure it's at 0 because most of the time it drains. There's some sort of circuit connected to it, or just over time. But then there's also sometimes they charge up on their own. So we're going to check it. I'll set that at 200 volts. But I'm pretty sure they're drained. The last time I powered this up was about 3 days ago. But let's just see what happens. Put that on positive, put that on negative. And do I get anything? It's 0. Check this one too. 0. So they are drained. I'm going to pull out this board. There's a little neon tube right there. And I gotta get this board too. So those are the two capacitors there. Should be able to get those off by taking out those screws there. There's some screws there, and this whole thing should come out. Okay. Okay, so I took out a bunch of screws, and so that's what that's for. I've always wondered. Let me get these out. So these capacitors with the 4 posts, I always wondered what that was for, and apparently it's for bolting the capacitor to a chassis. Go like that. Or, yeah. So apparently it's for bolting a capacitor to a chassis, like that. What do you have here? 200 volt and 2000 microfarad. A couple of those. Beautiful. This main board is pretty large. Start pulling wires here. Really cool. That's probably the tape drive controller. Actually, it could be. Oh, I see some gold under there. That could be the tape drive controller. Let me continue taking it apart, and we'll see. We'll see what's underneath. CRT is loose. I'll be able to pull it out. Just like that. Cables. Okay. We have a CRT. Oh, one more. Oh, the DGAS coil. I was wondering what that screen was on the screen. That kind of looks like it's a screen. It's kind of a weird material. I don't know why they didn't put that on there. We can breathe through it. Kind of a weird material. What the fuck is this? So here's the CRT. Oh, I forgot the DGAS coil again. I'll get the DGAS taken off. I can use this as a DGAS for other things. Just a coil like that. It's just metal wire and a loop. So here's the CRT. I'll go ahead and put the flyback connection back on. I'll put this in a safe place. I like these tubes, they're pretty cool. Wow, amazing. So this is what I have left. I'm very curious about that tape drive. So, let's see what I can do to get this out. Pop out. Let that screw out, let that screw out. My pry bar. There's that board. A little screw in there. And cut that off. There's a solid state diode in there, or I mean a solid state relay made by ITT. I have a bunch of those in my stuff. Little overheat protection switch. It is coaxial. Never seen that either. So the power switch is actually screwed on. I'm unscrewing it right now so I can pull this out. I think I am. I might have to hold it in place while I do it. There it goes. Unscrew. There it goes. That's the power switch. And it's really interesting how they built it. I've seen this in other scopes, but the switch is connected. This is for isolation. It's connected to a piece of plastic, and then using a regular switch like that. Very cool. The fan they have this one here is the PEM motor. It uses 15 watts and it's 120 volt. I can use that for other stuff. Okay, the keyboard's connected to this blue cable, and oh, here's another fan. This one is made by Muffin, so it's a Muffin fan. They make some good fans. They taste good too. So here's the tape drive. Fortunately, it does not look like something I can reuse, but it has some really cool chips on it. And there's a head inside. So this is the motor right here for spinning the tape, or for running the tape. I don't know if the camera can catch this, but you can even see little brushes right there. But there's a custom Tektronix chip in their certification. So now let's get this main board out. Oh, that's a bad one. Here, let me turn this way. We found some really cool boards. I'll lay those out and you can look at them. This is all the power supplies over here. It's unfortunate this wasn't usable for me, but I'll definitely have more fun playing with the parts. There's the chassis. I haven't taken the keyboard apart, but I don't think there's going to be much in the keyboard that's that interesting to most people. This was all of the chassis assembly. And the tape drive right here, this was the tape drive. So it's kind of an interesting piece. Put the tape in like that, and eject. So I hope this video helped anyone out there for learning and to appreciate the work that went into designing things for designing computers. This is from 1985, I guess, 1980, 1985. Some boards date back to the 70s, but this was what Intel used during that time to create CPUs, memory, and civilization that we have today. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. And this is what I meant by Intel. This was Intel Tektronix equipment. So this weird screen looking thing that was on front of the tube says it is by Sunflex, and it's an SF64 glare filter. So some kind of glare filter. Hopefully I'll be able to use this tube for something else. I have another one in here from a HP scope. I've been holding on to one just like that, and they are color and they have such high resolution capability. I think it's like 1024 by 768. So something pretty good.